Hey, Phil.
Hey, Casper, how you doing today?
Good, good. We've got Mel here too and Gavin.
Hey,
Hey,
you
you
look
got the
so
whole.
different with the beard.
Thank you. We got
You
the whole
look,
team.
yeah, we're in the office. Tomorrow is holiday, so we're making it up for it.
Packing 2 days into one.
Yeah.
This is the new WeWork that you guys are in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Cool. So everyone that doesn't know, obviously Casper is part of Spartan, and so is Melody and Gavin. They're helping us a lot with fundraising and our presence in Asia. So we're excited they're on the call with us today.
Everyone.
Welcome.
Cool.
Thank
so,
you.
Thanks for everyone being here today. Appreciate everyone coming to these calls and joining us. Typically, we just start out with some of the big commits for the week. Unfortunately, we had no new contributors this week, but we did have a lot of work done, and just want to go through that briefly. The first one was Anua helped us with adding an HTML version of our white paper, which should help in terms of SEO for the site. That's on the dev website right now, and will get pushed to production probably sometime this coming week. I know also that the jobs page is, I think, going to get done today. So that should be also get pushed next week. The internal blog is just about done as well, at least the infrastructure needed for it. The design piece is getting worked on. So Brady Sheridan got that taken care of. Arun 1595 hit several optimizations for better loading and imports of the site and the D app. And then Dilate Brave is working on some more features around the simplified deployment. And then Robert and Eswar have been working a lot on the types and market.js. So there's been a lot of commits there. So that's awesome. Thank you, guys.
And add Phil to that list.
Yeah, a bit all over the place this week, but thank you. I also just want to, we have 2 new full-time team members. So I want to, I mean, Robert's been with us for a while, but I just want to welcome him full-time to the team. So everyone, please welcome Robert.
Yeah, awesome.
And then also not with us today is Nitin, and he is Eswar's friend who has been working with us, I don't know, Eswar for maybe 6 months now, do you think?
Yeah, nearly. Since starting February.
Yeah, so he's coming on full time in mid-July, and he's going to be helping us a lot with just design work in general, UI UX for the D app, the website, help us with some of the newsletter infrastructure as well. Really excited to bring him on. He's a great guy and super smart and ambitious, so should be wonderful additions to the team. All right. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's see here. From previous meetings to-do list, just briefly, Market Protocol / Market Protocol is now going back to the previous name because of some issues with Truffle and importing NPM packages with a namespace. So that, just so everyone knows, we're still sticking with Market Solidity for the time being until that bug in Truffle is addressed. Eswar, do you want to talk about some of your progress this week?
Sure. So yeah, we are making some good progress in the market.js library. So we have everything in place set up for the simulator exchange piece, where we are able to kind of create orders, trade orders, and also Phil has kind of worked on like managing collateral, like depositing tokens and withdrawing them. So currently I'm focusing on integrating this market.js library in our own D app and see how the pieces are fitting together. So that's where my focus is this week. So yeah, so while I'm working at it, like Robert is helping me with the backend stuff, where we need a API to kind of have a bot which creates the orders So right now, the bots will kind of create your order so that like the end person user who is coming to a simulator exchange can kind of trade against the bot rather than the real users for the demo purposes. But going down the line, we should be able to kind of have real-time users trading against each order. Phil or Robert, is there anything else that I have to add?
No, I think from the Market.js perspective, you guys have been cranking on that. We got a lot of issues done, and I think some of the base functionality. As you said, I'm working on the back end bot functionality, and I was just taking a look at some stuff last night that might help us out. I really do believe the TypeScript is a big benefit, even on the back end side of things. So stay tuned there. And then as well as the order book, and I think Phil started working on the contract deploy. So that work looked really exciting last night. And so it sounds like we'll be getting that placed in, and then most likely working on the order book after that, or some other functionality that might pop up. We'll see.
Hey guys, sorry about that. I dropped, so I missed that whole thing. I'm assuming that you guys kind of went over what had happened this week already.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. Cool. I appreciate that. I don't know if this happened already, but I'm assuming it didn't. Patrick, do you have any updates? I know you're traveling, so maybe not, but on the SEO side of things?
Yeah, I haven't been doing much as far as in contributions because of the travel, but I did update the SEO spreadsheet, and surprisingly, it continued to improve. I really thought it would level off because we were averaging 6 on rank in the key search terms, and it further increased to 4 point something. So that's pretty good. Also, some of the links that are showing up are not on the main site; they're actually on the press page, which is interesting. There are 1 or 2 search terms where the summary text from the press on marketprotocol.io/press was ranking higher than the main site. So I think that shows that continuing to add new content is the primary source now of the increase in the rankings.
Cool. That's great. So I think that the new white paper HTML, although I'm not sure anyone will read it in HTML version, I mean, that should be a ton of content. So hopefully that helps. And I updated all the alt tags on the images just this morning. So once that hits, I'd be curious to see how that does as well.
Cool.
Awesome. All right. Anything else that we want to talk about that happened this week in terms of development? Okay, cool. So yeah, this coming week, I think the main focus still is market.js and getting that hammered out further to integrate into the D app, and then also further push that along into maybe the hands of some of our partners to get some feedback from there. I'm going to try to reach out to some of the relayers that are, or the order book hosts that are living in Discord, and see if we can get some feedback from them, and maybe even a little bit of just their take on some of the structure that we've created and their thoughts there. Let's see. I'm trying to think of anything else that, I don't think this happened this week, which is really important to announce, and a big kudos to the team for it, is that we are included in proof of work now. That newsletter, if you've checked it out, is a who's who of like big projects that are developing incredible tech, and we're on there now. So that's pretty awesome. And guys, like that's all of you that have made that possible. So check it out. It's proof of work news. I think it's proofofwork.news. They also have a common app where people can apply for jobs. So I believe that we're on that as well. So that should hopefully allow us to also get more talent on the team. So nice job there, everyone.
Woohoo!
Cool. So I just want to talk about hiring a little bit. We're definitely still looking for some positions. If people have contacts or anyone that they might know, definitely on the Solidity side of things is a place that we could really use some help. I think also additionally, someone that had some TypeScript experience would be also very, very useful, more so if they had some financial markets experience. So both of those things are really at the top of the list for people that we're searching for. I think there's still room to grow the team in terms of front-end devs as well, because there's going to be a lot of work there as we move to build out some of the simulated exchange functionality. So spread the word.
Cool.
All right. So this coming week, we kind of talked about that stuff already. Is there anything else people want to bring up or talk about? I guess maybe it might be a little bit of a short call today, but it'd be great to have some discussion around any of the things that are pending or on people's minds.
Just a quick comment on the contributor guidelines. We bounced around a little bit, I think, on the Git flow discussion last week, or I'm sorry, the week before, because I wasn't there. And we posted a little bit more, a few more guidelines, I would say, around that. So if you haven't seen that, check that out. Just the way the feature branches are named and hot fixes and releases and such. Most of you are probably already familiar with that, but I just think that the overall structure and naming and such will be helpful as we move forward. So just FYI.
Yeah, that's great. I just started using Git flow like recently, just in the last few days since I published that stuff on docs.marketprotocol.io. And the only thing that caught me off guard is that if you create a feature and then you, I think it's Git flow finish feature or feature finish or something like that, it basically it doesn't create a PR. It just immediately merges it, right? So that caught me off guard. So just be aware of that. I guess that it's a merge, not a PR.
Just a question. Can we create PRs via command line?
With Git flow?
No, in general, like, I don't think that's possible.
It is. It's just I mean it's more like a GitHub API than it is through Git itself.
Got it.
Yeah. For instance, like the new CMS that's going to handle the blog content, that does automatically create PRs when people create new blog posts. So there is that functionality, just not in Git flow, which I kind of expected there to be based on the documentation, but yeah. I guess it's not a GitHub tool, it's a Git tool.
Yeah.
Hey, I had a quick question. Did we finalize or put a process in place for actually publishing to the NPM website, if you will? Because Phil, I know we were working on the releases, and then I was thinking the next final step on that was actually doing the publishing to NPM. So was that part of that work that you were doing, or not?
So with Market Protocol itself, the Solidity package, that is automated to publish to NPM. If you create a tag on the master branch there, it will automatically publish to NPM with Travis.
Okay. So we need to do the same thing with Market.js as well.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the status of Travis is with that, to be honest with you, but it should be pretty simple to set that up. I'm happy to do that if we have Travis already running for it.
Yeah, I think we're just failing on test coverage.
Sure.
Yeah. And that might be an area to stake out some issues to just to get some QA folks that might be out there to get some coverage on that.
Yeah, we can definitely do that.
Okay.
Yeah, the process is pretty straightforward.
Ideally, we should be doing hand in hand, but I realize we're just trying to get this thing done.
Yeah. There's the ideal, and there's reality.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
Cool. So as far, do you want to fill us or just maybe briefly comment on what you're working on right now?
Yeah, Phil. So I was working on the integration part for the, so basically like all the build that I've generated and the package that I published for the market.js. I was trying to kind of see how it fits in the pieces of the current sim exchange in the D app. So I was facing some issue with the existing build. So what I have done was like bundle the Web3 as well as part of the library. So it was giving some errors when I'm importing. There were some missing files which Web3 code kind of has it. So I had to kind of remove the Web3 and like rely upon the browser global Web3 that is there. Basically, like whatever project that I'll be importing in the market.js library, it assumes right now that they already have Web3 as part of their application. So currently it is working in that way. So that's what, like, if that is not going to be the scenario, then like I might have to see like what should be the workaround for this in order to get things going. So that's where things are at right now.
Got it. Yeah, I was wondering about that myself. So you're essentially saying that you're passing in like MetaMask's Web3 provider into market.js, but that's happening in the D app itself, not in market.js.
Yeah, it's not about the provider. It's just it's also the Web3 that is going to be there. The library. It should be kind of, it's always what do you call it, exists on window.global Web3, right? So that should be there in order for the market.js to work, because we kind of rely upon the Web3 functionality, correct? So
Got it. Okay, cool. Yeah, that makes sense. I was curious on some of the structure in market.js. For instance, when I started creating the factories last night in the deployment, obviously those could theoretically be objects, right? You could create the factory object that already knows its address, and then all of the functionality itself is kind of intertwined in there versus having them be these utility functions. And I mean, I know we've kind of talked about that previously, but I'm interested to want to get to the point where I'm able to integrate it into the D app to figure out what might be the best way to do that.
sure. Yeah. So like I was able to get the integration working. I'll just check the pieces whether the functionalities are actually kind of creating orders and trading them, etc. today. So that's what I'm focusing on. But yeah, this is the one issue that took a lot of time for me to kind of figure out, and possible workaround I'm not yet sure. So yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I'm not surprised that there's, some figuring out how to integrate the packages as we separate things. Okay, cool. That's great. Is there anything else you guys want to discuss before we hop off?
Just one question on, so Eswar, the only issue that you've found, at least in the browser, is that there are duplicate Web3s in the global namespace. Is that correct? That was one of your issues?
Not exactly the duplicate Web3. So the major issue was like in the bundle of the Web3, it was using some errors.js file with a relative path. So when you kind of create the bundle, we don't have whatever Web3 relative files that are going to be there. So it was giving me an import error at that particular point itself. So I had to kind of completely remove Web3 from the part of the bundle just to avoid this error.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was the actual issue, but it definitely makes sense. Like if the importing library also has Web3 and we also kind of bundle Web3, there can be the version issues, etc., like duplicate Web3, whatever the errors that pop up.
There'll be at different versions because we're on the beta version on Market.js, correct? And we're using the
we are on the stable version right now, like 0.20.6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, there will be this scenario also, like if we are going to rely upon the browser's Web3, we might also have to handle it a bit differently for Web3 1.0. So like all these kind of things that might come up, like in order for us to kind of handle, like if we go ahead with this path. So.
And what do you think as far as workaround solutions there?
Yeah, so kind of 0xJS already kind of uses that. Like it's just like a difference between the send function that is there defined on Web3. So I think 1.0 has send async and 0.20 has send. So that was the only difference that I could kind of at least figure out in their code base. So yeah.
Okay, I'd be curious to learn more once you find what's going to work there.
Sure, definitely.
Cool.
Yeah, it's definitely a learning experience across the board. And then I'm curious as well, do you have a firm idea on how we're going to pass in the transaction parameters into the functions that we've created? So basically gas price, gas limit, and then, from account.
Yeah, nothing right now. So I have seen the type chain, this thing, they kind of create a promise wrapper around the transaction params. So I have to kind of figure out like how we are going to kind of pass them. So the contracts that I've created, it kind of returns the response of the transaction wrapper with the transaction params. So I just have to see how it is kind of getting these transaction params globally for when we kind of create a particular new class or something. So I'll just figure out that piece also.
Okay,
I just
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I took
because
over.
they have that eye traction params, like that interface essentially, and that's like what I'm passing in now to those function calls to allow that to be, parameterized at some point.
Got it. Yeah, but for right now, like at least in the order piece, I don't think we had needed the transaction params, if I'm not wrong, or even for trade order.
We will, right? I mean, if someone wants to set a different gas price, for instance, we would need to be able to pass that in. So at least it's my understanding of it.
Yeah.
So it's not there right now, but it probably should be, unless there's a way to define it globally. But I don't know that right now.
Yeah, sure. Like I'll just check that piece as well. Like, yeah.
Cool. I'm hoping to spend some more time today with the deploying contracts part of market.js. So I'll interact on that for sure.
Awesome.
Cool. Patrick, Anderson, Casper, Melody, Gavin, anything to add?
No, we're all good here.
Awesome,
Very
you guys.
cool. Casper, are you guys any chance you guys are gonna go to ETH India?
No plans. What was the dates for that again?
I think it's August 8th through 10th.
August 10th to 12th.
Oh, 10th through 12th, sorry.
Gavin's nodding. We might send Gavin. Stay tuned.
I didn't hear that. What was that, Gavin?
I think that's when his birthday is. So
it happens to be my wedding anniversary, so I might have to bring my wife if I go.
is it in Bangalore, Mumbai, Delhi?
It's Bangalore.
Bangalore. Okay. That's a short hop from here. So.
Yeah, it's like 4 hours. I already looked at flights because I'm sure
Yeah.
I'll be stopping in Singapore.
Yeah, it's like 4 hours.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, thanks, guys. Really appreciate everyone joining us today on these calls. It's great to have input from everyone. And if there's ever questions or improvements or feedback on the process, let's go over it. But it's great to get everyone together for a little bit every Thursday. All right. I'll see you guys later. Have a great rest of your week.
Yeah.
Bye,
everyone.
Bye. Enjoy.
Bye, everyone.